says it's streaming. It's just one of those. That's the right. Oh, you know, look at you go. Okay, so you're streaming now, so that's good. And there is.
Okay, can I get that?
Yeah.
I should make some noise so it comes over to me and not focusing on the two of
Let's
you.
not say it out loud.
You don't want everyone on YouTube to hear it?
So folks, what we're looking at today is the OWL camera. Our new OWL camera is designed to have multiple sounds in the room. And there's Dino.
Good morning.
And automatically focus on whoever is talking in the room. So this is the same camera system we're going to have designed for the Board of Review hearing room. And so once we get it all set up, we'll be able to do a lot more just like this.
I like to be prepared.
Yeah.
Is the camera already in the Board of Review room?
No, we still have a lot of construction going on in Building C. So that's one of the last things to go up because you don't want to do the sensitive electronic stuff and then have people jackhammering around it.
So the YouTube.
Yep, that's true. All right.
Switch windows.
Yeah, do you want to take a quick look at what YouTube is doing?
Okay. Because I'm thinking like if I need to remote into my PC. I could just open everything else and shut.
Yeah, because you're not sharing your computer screen, so
Okay.
you'd have to choose share computer screen
Okay,
in order for it to show anything on your screen.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes. And one person is even watching on
That's
YouTube
me.
right now. Oh,
Hi,
that's you.
Michelle. We actually have people on YouTube watching?
Well, actually, right now only Jennifer.
Oh. Okay.
Where are you, Mark?
In the County Board Auditorium, and that is in Building A underneath the County Board chambers. This is a new conferencing system that's set up by the IT department. And so an OWL camera, you can see on the top a panoramic view, which shows the entire room, all four walls, all the way around. And then the OWL camera is designed to focus on whoever is talking. So if two people are talking, it'll go to a split screen. And then if two people are talking, it also is designed to use an omnidirectional microphone to pick up all the sound.
Cool.
Has that been has that been tested fairly well?
Well, it's working right now, so I presume it's okay.
Well, I meant with more than a few people in the room, how far will a microphone pick people up, for example?
It can do pretty well for a conference style room, Dino. If the room is got a lot of people, like say this room has a capacity of 80, if we were at even a third of that, at that point they recommend using an individual microphone, in which case we have the ability to do that too. So if like it was a large public meeting, you'd want to have people use a microphone. There's always the worry about ambient sound that's picked up.
Cool.
So ideally, we'll try this. This works a little bit easier. You'll be able to see me. Usually you can't see me during these meetings. But we should be able to do things quite well. Michelle, that's an impressive office you have there.
Yeah, I was going to say, we won't be able to use the Michelle's camera for meetings at all. Very colorful.
You mean
Sherry.
Sherry's colorful?
I mean, sorry, Sherry's.
Thank you,
You're
Mark.
very colorful too, Michelle.
It's pretty plain.
I'm gonna say Bruce has the most impressive credentials on his wall, though.
That's quite impressive for sure.
Looks
Thank
super.
Ichaha,
ILL.
INI.
I was
There you
gonna,
go.
I was gonna guess the thing in the red was is that your MAI certificate?
It is. Yep.
That's what I
I didn't
thought.
expect to be. I didn't put it up there to be showing off on a Zoom call. It was long before Zoom, but there it is.
Hey, that's why you have it, right?
I don't get a lot of visitors in my bedroom office here, but other than my dog and my wife.
We won't tell your wife who you put first in priority.
Oh boy, you're right. You caught me there.
Maybe she's watching.
Could be. This is so interesting to her, I'm sure. She loves when I talk about property valuation.
Mr. Chairman, it's 9 o'clock, so whenever.
Okay, being 9 o'clock, let's call the meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Sullivan,
Present.
Mr. Constance,
Present.
Mr. Majerick,
Present.
all are present and there is a quorum.
Great. Okay, first, or actually second item, are there any public comments on the agenda items?
We have received no public comments on the agenda items.
Alrighty, Mike and Dino, have you looked at the minutes of October 19th? And
Yes.
are we good to go with them?
Yes.
I would move that we approve the minutes from October 19th.
I'll second. Constant second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gentlemen, just as a reminder, because of the rules of the Open Meetings Act, we do need to have a roll call vote for every vote. So in the past, you've done this by saying your name and saying aye rather than having me actually call your names. That's perfectly acceptable, so long as it is recorded what each roll is. The all in favor aye vote, though, isn't something we can use, even with 3 people.
Mark, can you call on the motion to approve?
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Mr. Constance,
Yes.
Majerick,
Yes.
it's unanimous.
Okay, next item is we're looking to rescind the previous board review docket 2020 HACM 009. I'm assuming that you've looked at the reasoning for that. Is there any discussion, Mike or Dino?
None for me, Mr. Constance.
All righty.
Majerick, none.
Is there a motion then to rescind that decision?
I move we rescind the decision.
I would second.
Mr. Sullivan?
I'm sorry, what was it my name?
Yes, your vote.
Okay, yes.
Mr. Constance,
Yes.
Mr. Majerick,
Yes.
Okay,
Unanimous.
in place of the rescinding, we will rule on the same docket number, making the change. You have that in front of you. It is to affect a multi-year settlement. And again, is there any reason for discussion?
No.
Oh,
Okay, then I would move that we would make this change that you have. Mark, I'm going to put the numbers on the recording here. The land would be at 436,531. The improvements at 1,494,519 for a total of 1,931,050. And I believe we have the P tabs withdrawn for 18 and 19. Is there a second?
I'll second. Majerick
All right.
seconds.
Mark is absent. Um,
Nope.
See where he's at.
The camera went somewhere else.
Oh, it's that panoramic.
Yes, I gotta wave and get it back. See, there I am.
We see on the top part. There it
There we
goes.
go. The owl is still trying to learn my habits. Maybe it's daytime and the owl is sleeping.
There you go.
Mark, we just had a motion to approve item number 5, and the assessed values were read into the record. So if you could call the roll on that vote.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Constance,
Yes,
Mr. Majerick.
Yes.
That is unanimous.
Okay. Unless I'm out of order, we will now go to the consent agenda. I trust you gentlemen have looked it over. Is there any reason not to, or to pull any of those dockets off the consent and put it on the non-consent, or the non-consent?
None for Majaric?
Do you know?
none from Constance.
Okay, would one of you make the motion to approve that?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Majaric seconds.
Okay, all those in favor? Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
All right. If I'm going in the right order now, we would get to the non-consent, which, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. It starts with item number 731.
That is correct. You've been so efficient, Mr. Chairman. You've already disposed of 730 items on today's agenda.
Yeah,
And-
but now the fun stuff starts.
Yes.
All right. The very first one on this is a Dundee Township. Bruce was the hearing clerk, and Bruce, this was flagged. Is there a reason that you'd like to bring up that you think we might want to consider not confirming it?
Would you mind reminding me what it is?
Oh wait,
it
that's
would be-
101.
Yes, it's docket 2020 DUCM 0101, parcel 0322151032, use code 60. On that one, the current total is land at 188,289, improvements at 251,521, total at 439,810. The recommendation, which may or may not be a placeholder recommendation, is to confirm based on evidence submitted. And then the question, Mr. Chairman, goes to discussion on this issue, on this
Okay.
docket.
Bruce, you now have the file that we're talking about?
It's not the Algonquin Commons, it's the, there was actually a stipulation, and it's the Spring Hill Road restaurant. If that sounds familiar. The Denny's.
Bruce, did you have an issue with?
Oh, okay. Was this one where there was a stip sign for that?
Yes,
Okay. I do remember that. It said Denny's over by Spring Hill, by the Spring Hill Mall, right?
right.
Okay. I don't remember taking it out of the consent agenda. Maybe that was done because I didn't agree with the step. If I remember correctly, the assessor was using a really high cap rate on that. And I know those Denny's, they typically trade around 6%. I'm just going by memory here. I usually take notes on the different things, but I don't remember this one, why it was taken out. Other than that, I remember that.
Okay, I believe this property's been in front of us a number of times. And so often it is, it's an older building that has, it's been rehabbed, I think, at least twice.
Yeah, it has. It's in good condition.
Okay, is there any do you have a recollection of how long the remaining term might be, or is this, is it a lease or is it a owner occupied property?
It's a lease. Yeah, I have my notes here. I did find my notes. The STIP was based on a 9 cap. I thought that was extremely high for a national tenant, triple net, probably absolute net property. I don't know, in my opinion, I thought 9 cap was way too high.
Okay. So at a lower cap, what would the number be then? Right now, the STIP is for, call it $1,200,000, $1,193,000. It looks like Bruce is frozen.
It does. We'll see if we can get him unfrozen. 1,193 would, if that were the stipulation value were there, that would be an equalized assessed value of 397,627. The existing assessment is at 439,810. There, Bruce is unfrozen. We lost you for a minute.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So Bruce, do you have a value conclusion with a lower cap rate that you're suggesting would be more market level?
I'm sorry, guys. I guess I just wasn't prepared to talk about this. I take notes on the stuff that I asked to take off the consent agenda, and I just don't remember taking this off the consent agenda. So does that happen when we don't agree with the STIP?
Not certain. All I know is it was highlighted coming out of the meeting. I'm not sure why it was highlighted. All I know is it gets highlighted on something that means it gets taken out.
Bruce, it sounds like you're, I mean, you've already presented that you think the cap rate is too low. I think we're dealing with a relatively low stipulation. Usually the township assessor is very thorough in his research. I would point out that this is a sit-down restaurant as opposed to a carry-out or a drive-through. Mike, what are your thoughts?
For
I have not
me,
read the file and I apologize for that.
yeah. For me, I would agree with the chairman that it's not a large reduction, and it is not in one of the, it's not a prime area anymore like it used to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, just for informational purposes, if the 397,626 value was there, that would give, let's see, 397,626. I did the math, and then it looks like I don't have the right number written down.
Yeah, the STIP says 397,874.
Right.
397,874. That might be just a different way of approaching 3333. So if we looked at that, 397,874, and took the existing land value of 288,289 and subtracted that, that would give an improvement value from the stipulation of 209,585.
Right.
Which is the signed STIP, Mark.
Correct.
Okay, I don't have any issue with the stipulation myself.
Do you have this up or?
Yeah, I don't have it up. I'm afraid to minimize what I'm looking at and then switch over to pulling that file. Mike, if you can give me some guidance. I've got the Zoom meeting screen with Michelle and Bruce and everyone else. Kevin has just joined. Can I split this screen in order to get the?
Yeah, if you hit the You can drag the corners. If it's full screen, use the square box up there and it won't completely minimize, but it'll let you drag it around. And you got what I call the dash, the square and the X in the right, top right.
Yes. Okay,
Hit the square.
I'm going, if I hit the square, which I've done,
Can you drag it around by going off the top of the screen there?
no, I have to go back to where it was.
Okay. Yeah, it depends on where you were in the beginning. So hit the square again, and then you should be able to drag it around.
No, it's not letting me do that now.
Okay. Option B is there's kind of a squarish looking thing, and it'll say full screen. If you might have to unclick that. It is also in the top right corner.
I did that.
Let me check that. Yeah, that says full screen. It's below the X.
Yep,
So
I've clicked on that and
and you can't click the top band there and then move it.
yes, I've just done that.
Oh, okay, there you go. So now you can resize it, maybe put it half your screen left or right, and then pull up something else.
I'm not able to find any board hearings before 11/2/20.
Yeah, you have to go to the township.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't
well,
know what happened to them. That's a question I have as well, where the actual hearing date folders went to.
Okay, well, I don't,
Actually, I'd like to bring this up at the end of the meeting, but I am just going back to the SharePoint and going back to the township for some of these ones that were heard, back in
Right.
September and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the only way I could get to them as well.
well, I don't have the authority to do that. It won't let me highlight township.
Oh,
I put my cursor over it, it doesn't do anything.
I will make sure at the next meeting that all the hearing files are retained until the subsequent Board of Review meeting takes place.
Mark, you read my mind.
okay. Takes care of that.
Okay, but on this one, Dino, do you have the STIP in front of you?
No, I just got to Dundee. And now I'm going to 2020.
Okay, you'll want to hit assessor evidence rather than the complaint itself.
Yeah, give me the number again.
101,
101.
101.
Yeah.
I've got the STIP.
All
Okay,
right.
do you have any issues with the STIP?
Let me look it over. No, in the discussion that I've heard, I would have none.
All right. That being the case, I've moved to accept the agreement between taxpayer and assessor, keeping the land the same at 188,289, reducing the improvements to 209,585 for a total assessed value of 397,874.
Constance, I'll second.
All in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is Dundee as well. This is complaint number 0064. Bruce, you recall, again, there's a confirmation on here, and you said it based on evidence submitted. I'm just wondering if you recall your thoughts on this.
And it's
Oh, like I
Algonquin
said,
Commons.
I've been I keep my sheets, I keep notes, but it's really hard when I can't pull up the actual case. But what I wrote down was the subject was lower than the comps. suggested a step, and then I wrote down no sheet, which now I don't remember what that means because I can't see the evidence. But I wrote down subject was lower than the comps.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, just point of procedure. Docket number 64 includes both items number 732 and 733 on the agenda. There are two parcels.
okay. And I'm just trying to pull up, I'm assuming that there was intervention on this.
That would be my expectation, given where it is.
Yes, I'm pulling up 64 right now. Mike, do you have it up?
Yeah, I had it up and I thought it had a stipulation according to my notes here. There was a 2019 stip value and it only went up by the factor. Let's see. I'm actually looking now at the appellant evidence. I thought I saw a stip in here when I read it the other day.
I've gone through the assessor evidence. I didn't spot any stip.
Yeah, I don't see one either.
Yeah,
And as I go back to SharePoint, the evidence,
comment.
the assessor and the evidence of the appellant are split. I know that in some cases, Dundee Township has lowered things, essentially splitting the equalization factor.
Bruce, do you recall if there was some conversation about a reduction because of COVID-19 or the art van? Is that part of the argument from the appellant? Okay.
Boy, I wish I could see the evidence. I mean,
Bruce, the assessor's analysis, the last part of his evidence indicated recommend reduction by stipulation only to the 219 value. Does that ring a bell?
Mr. Chairman, we're restoring the October hearings to their original folder as we speak. So that may, if you want to wait a moment, you'd be able to have that evidence available.
Okay.
Dino, back to what? Could you repeat what you said?
I said that at the very end of the assessor's evidence, in the final analysis, as he's identifying it, he's recommending reduction by stipulation only to the 2019 value.
right, but I wrote down no sheet. So was there a stip sheet included in the evidence?
No, it doesn't look that way.
No, it doesn't look like that. That's correct.
So maybe we agreed to that and he was supposed to send the sheet. I don't know. I can't see the evidence, so I don't remember. What is this, an art van? Is that what you said?
That's
No, I
part
think
of the
it's-
center. That's
yeah.
part of the center.
It's part of Algonquin Commons.
With a total value of over 16 million assessed, that would be a heck of an art van.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even see that, so.
The Jennifer's just uploaded the October 29th. I'm assuming more is coming.
Yes,
Okay. And
357 items into those folders. It's 5% complete.
oh, okay. All righty.
I think we agreed that we should stip at this to 19, and he was supposed to send the sheet. That's what I'm thinking.
Bruce, when you say he, do you mean the appellant's attorney, or did you mean Mr. Belak?
Mr. Belak.
Okay. If that's the case, I don't have those numbers in front of me yet, but
Mr. Chairman, if I could make a suggestion on this one is, first we can, it'll take about, 15 or so minutes to get all that evidence back up into where everyone could see it. The
Okay.
second thing is given the record that you can see, it doesn't look like there's any written stipulation in the record. And I'm wondering is if we should defer this item at least to later in the meeting and possibly even later to another meeting if there is a pending stipulation, with the idea that most stipulations are designed to avoid going to the Property Tax Appeal Board without anything signed. That may not be the case here. It may be the assessor recommended a stipulation, but the appellant may not have agreed.
I think that's some wise advice. Let's at least table it till the end of the meeting. So the next one then would be complaint or item number 734. Sherry is involved with this, and this is a Geneva Township. So.
Okay, well, I've lost my internet, just so you know, gentlemen. And sometimes I lose my electricity today. They're doing construction across the street. So if you lose me, that's why. Anyways, 734 is a small commercial building. It was purchased at the end of September of 2019 for $694,000. We did a reduction last year down to the purchase price. So this year it was only getting the multiplier. However, they decided to come back on non-payment of rent, which happened after January 1st of 2020. It's the little shoe store. It looks like they raised the rent quite a bit too, based on the rent roll. And Alex handled this from Geneva Township and did a stipulation. I just don't know if you want to, I guess, start a trend of lowering values based on non-payment of rent after the first of the year.
Sure, that's a good point, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Without going through the entire file, does anyone recall what Geneva's multiplier was?
You know what?
No.
I don't, but it was pretty minimal, if I remember.
I'm sorry?
It was pretty minimal, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it must be, because actually this is a
Geneva's multiplier, excuse me,
Yeah,
Geneva's multiplier for 20 is 1.0193. 1.0193.
okay. Yeah, it had to be minuscule, and it looks like the agreement is just going back to 19. I'm familiar with this center. It has seen better days.
Well, it was purchased for $694 and the stipulation for $663,390. And it was purchased shortly before
the first of the year.
Okay, I had some feedback, or I had some reverberation on your comment there, Sherry. But I'm looking at the stipulation, and there's about $2,500 in value change, which it looks like it goes back to 2019. So Dino, what are your thoughts on how the assessor treated this?
I'm still trying to get that file up. What is the file number again?
It's 34 in Geneva.
33.
Okay, Mike, can I ask you what your thoughts are?
I'm okay with it.
You're okay with the stipulation?
Yes.
Okay.
'Cause it's just rolling back.
Again, I appreciate you bringing this up, and your comments are are well noted. It is not a significant amount, and the assessor has given it some thought. I don't have an issue at all with the stipulation. And I'm going to move that we accept the stipulation, which is keeping the land the same at 31,996 and the improvements being lowered to 97,324 for a total assessed of 129,320. So a second.
And
I'll
hold on one
second. I've
second.
got the material in front of me. Thank you.
Okay, Mike is seconded this. I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, are we looking at number 734?
Yeah, I think you're on the wrong docket.
This is Geneva 33?
Yeah, Geneva 33 it should be, not 34.
I'm jumping the gun. I apologize.
Hold on a second. Then I've got
700 and
I've got 34 as well. Let me back up. And we're at assessor evidence on 33, correct?
Yes. It's about a $14,000 reduction in assessment level.
okay. And I think this was based on a review of income. There was income information in the appellant's package.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just ask a question with respect to Sherry's observation or question, is there going to be some consideration given to rental reduction or loss in 20 as a policy or a consideration?
I don't think there should be, but I was right when I said I'm familiar with the shopping center. It has seen better days. And Sherry's points are even more well taken once I have the right file in front of me.
I didn't use that as consideration for me.
Do you recall what the assessor's comments were regarding the agreement?
Well, he based it on vacancy or lost payment of rent. And when I said, well, that happened after 2020, the payments on the little shoe store, it's the little shoe repair store that's not paying the rent. It's a little teeny weeny storefront. And then I asked him if he agreed to reduce it based on the purchase price. Did he think that they paid too much for the property then at the end of September? And he said yes, but he didn't give any evidence to that.
Okay.
And what was their purchase price again, Sherry?
It was $694, and they purchased it September 30th of 2019.
Okay.
So I personally didn't think it should be reduced. It was already reduced to the purchase price, and all that was added was the multiplier. Everything's being now they've taken, we don't want the sale price anymore. Now we want income loss, but their income loss was after the first of the year. And if you want to start that trend, that's fine, but you better do that for everybody.
I think it has to be a case by case, whether you, well, I don't think we should look at it at all. And I think it's just a case by case what the property is at the point in time. And as Tim said, this has seen better days, this property. So
Yeah, even the pictures show that.
Yeah.
I would have no issue with reflecting the sale price. I'm sorry, what was the sale price?
$694.
Dino, what are your thoughts? I mean, we have a sale, and then as
What was the month of the sale?
leaning more towards confirmation.
What was the sale price and when again? 694. And the date of that sale?
September 30th,
September 30th,
2019.
2019.
I think okay. We're real close. The confirmation or the published figure is very close to what the sale price was. And I agree with Sherry that I don't think that the stipulation is warranted given its basis. And I have no problem confirming this.
Neither do I.
Mr. Chairman, may I point out that the sale price multiplied by the level of assessments is 231,310. The one-year agreement that was proposed is $10,000 below that. The current total is about 4,000 above that, just to get that all on the record. Since this is an open meeting, recorded, everyone can hear that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mike, I'm sorry, I think you pointed or you mentioned that confirmation would be appropriate.
I did not. I said I would be willing to do the stipulation.
Well, if you look at the rent roll too, this is another thing that concerned me. When you look at the rent roll, they raised the rent dramatically from 2019 to 2020 or 2020. So that may be why the shoe repair business isn't paying.
Maybe they want the shoe repair to leave.
That's very possible. So there may be something else underlying here, but that's where we're at.
Dino, what are your thoughts? Let's see if we can resolve this.
My reaction would be to take it to the purchase price at this point, period.
Okay.
Yeah, I could live with that.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, then that would reflect a total assessed value 231,310, and therefore, based on evidence submitted, be my motion to reassess the property, leave the land at 103,629, and that should reduce the improvement to 127,681. And again, the total is 231,310. That would be my motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Okay.
So now that you've changed the number, Tim, do I need to sign anything further because you went back to the original purchase price without the multiplier?
No.
Nope, it's taken care of. Good. Okay.
Who said no?
Mark Armstrong said no. Your clerk
Okay,
said no.
all right. Okay. I didn't make out the voice, and it was muffled.
And I'm wearing a mask too.
Thank you. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, now we're moving to Geneva complaint 008.
Yes.
All right. And Sherry, you have this one as well, and it looks like there was a revalue based on STIP. It was flagged, so you must have a concern.
This was in PTAB, and I did not talk or discuss the appraisal at all because I knew that was a 2019 appraisal. It had already been reviewed by the board. So I just let the assessor and council talk, and they worked out an agreement between themselves to settle the PTAP for 2019 plus this year. And so I thought it should be reviewed by the board.
Okay, yeah, actually, I've received the 2019 stipulation. And I'm trying to get to the assessor's evidence on this particular one, but it did include bottom line is I believe we can accept the stipulation.
Is that in the packet somewhere?
It is not.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw it, so.
No, it's not. It was done after discussion, and I wanted to make sure they didn't send it to the state, so they sent it to Jody after everybody signed it because the schools were involved with this as well. So Brittany was in our meeting as well, but she didn't seem to have a problem with it either.
Okay, that's my recollection too, and after talking to Jody on this. Jody, are you on the line?
I am.
Okay, it's I remember seeing this. You did see a copy of a 19 agreement.
Yes, they did send me a 19 agreement and a
Okay.
20 stipulation.
Okay, I definitely have that somewhere filed. Do you by chance have the numbers that were agreed on in order to take
For
care of
19 or 20?
20, please?
The land is 367,715, and the building is 198,895 for a total of 566,610.
Okay.
That is what they discussed.
Okay. It was, okay. I'm going to motion that the 2020 assessment be assessed at the figures that Jody just read into the record. And hopefully I'm not jumping the gun. Mike, do you have any issue with it?
No, and I wrote that down, but I don't know where I saw that in this information, but yeah, I have the same number for a market value of $1,000,007.
Okay. All right, Dino, do you have any issue with it?
I do not have any issue with it.
Okay, then my motion stands. Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
All in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Okay. We're going to go back to Bruce
What was
now.
done with 19 now?
Pardon me. Actually, I have the STIP form. I'll get it to Donna. Okay, we're going to Dundee number, is it 134?
Yes.
Okay. Bruce's is yours as well. And it was flagged, but you're saying confirm it based on a pending PTAB. Is that correct?
That's what I had in my notes.
Okay. Is there any reason that that you know that it should not be confirmed based on what your knowledge is of the pending PTAB?
No, I mean, the only other note I had was that the pro forma, I believe I was speaking about the appellate's evidence. The pro forma said it was triple net, but they deducted expenses. But no, other than that, no, that's what I wrote in my notes to confirm based on the PTAB.
Okay. I haven't pulled the entire file up, but Mike and Dino, do you have any questions of Bruce? And then if you do not, do you feel confirmation is appropriate?
No questions for Bruce, and I believe confirmation would be appropriate.
Dino?
No other comments?
Okay, does, Mike, do you have this up, the
I do. You want the assessment levels?
Yes, please.
Land is 76,783. The improvement is 210,872 for a total assessment of 287,655.
Okay, is that a motion?
That would be my motion to confirm.
Second, all in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
All righty. Sherry, I believe we're going back to you with Geneva complaint 21.
Okay, there was an appraisal submitted for tax purposes, and neither the assessor, Denise handled this one, nor I were in agreement with the appraisal, so I just flagged it because I thought maybe another set of eyes would see something that we didn't see.
Do you know, did the appraisal come in late?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, never mind. This is
What
where.
happened with the appraisal is they put in, now I can't look at this because I don't have any internet right now. They originally put in an 875 request and the appraisal came back at 923. So maybe that's what's thrown it off. I'm not really sure.
Okay. I do see the appraisal.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you have no issue with it and Denise or Alex had no issue with it, I believe we should probably reflect that. But there's not a stipulation, right?
No. They wanted it confirmed at 1.175155, and the appraisal came in for tax purposes at 923. But I didn't agree with a lot of the adjustments, and Denise didn't agree with some of the comps used. So I just thought, being that it's a higher price property, that maybe another set of eyes should look at. Maybe I shouldn't have even flagged it, but I did.
Okay, but your recommendation is still confirmation.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I misunderstood you. I apologize.
Okay.
I have no questions.
All right, Mike, did you look at the appraisal at all?
Yeah, I looked at it briefly. I think that confirmation is appropriate.
Okay. Let's see, 2020. Do you want to make that motion if you wouldn't mind?
I need to flip to the assessor evidence. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I have it here. It looks like I gotta make it bigger. Hold on a second. The land is 24,886. The improvement is 205,242 for a total assessment of 230,128. Let me just make sure that works out.
We're on 21. It should be much higher than that. Can I ask the clerk if the published figure is 123,838 for land
Yes,
and the improvements 267,841
yes,
and the total assessed is 391,679?
yes.
I would move to confirm at those figures.
I'll second that motion.
All right, there's a second. All in favor. Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
Okay. Next one is Sherry's as well, is complaint 32, I believe, in Geneva.
I flagged that just because it was in PTAB.
But you but you said there was an agreement between the parties.
I confirmed it according to my notes based on the fact that was in PTAB.
I don't
But it
think
looked
is
like
in
there may have, huh?
Do we have a record that it is in PTAB? I don't believe it is.
I'm showing that the building has been reduced to $1.
Yeah, to $1.
Wait. Oh, wait, I'm on 738.
Yeah, docket 32.
I'm at 022.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm on number 738. You're on 739? I'm sorry.
We are on 738 on the agenda, Mr. Chairman. We did not vote on that one yet.
Okay, let's go back. That's complaint 22.
2.
Okay.
Also, Mr. Chairman, if I might point out, the October files have been completely restored to their old position. If anyone is wanting to look at them, they probably need to refresh their browser.
Okay.
And then, so anyone who did not have access to those files should now have access.
Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, this does have a pending PTAB?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Tim?
Sure, I was wondering, you confirm that this does have a pending PTAB?
Yes.
Okay. And the appraisal is as of?
It says, I think it was after the first of the year, and that's why I flagged it, because there's new evidence versus just the PTAB evidence.
Okay, so would your recommendation still be to confirm based on pending PTAB?
Yes.
Okay. Dina or Mike, any questions of Sherry?
No, give me that file number again. I'm on 32.
Okay,
Yeah, it's 22.
it's 22 and there's a pending PTAB and the recommendation is confirmation.
All right, sorry about that.
Do you have any issue with the confirmation based on the pending PTAB, Dino?
No,
Okay.
I don't have any question.
Okay.
Me either.
All right. Do either of you have the published figures in front of you? I'm scrolling too quickly here.
Yes. I have 123,838 and, well, hold on. I don't know what these columns are.
The building should be 656,558 for a total of 780,396.
Mr. Constance, what docket number are you working on?
22.
Geneva 22?
Correct.
Okay, I'm showing very different numbers.
Yeah, I have a total of 629,290. That, anyone else have that number?
Yes.
Okay, so. Just scrolling back and I'll tell you the numbers I have. All right, so for Geneva 22, I have the land at 123,838 and the improvement at 505,452 for a total assessment of 629,290.
The record here at the county shows the same, with the recommendation being confirmed based on pending PTAB.
That's correct.
That'd be yes from Majaric.
Well, there's no motion yet.
Oh, Mike, you want to take care of that?
That would be my motion to utilize those numbers that were just previously read off with a total of $629,290 as a confirmation based on the pending PTAB.
Second, all in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
Okay, next on the docket is something that I flagged, and I believe the only reason I flagged it because I thought that there might be some activity.
Hold on. How about 32?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm rushing, guys. I'm rushing.
Or Mr. Chairman, do you want to double back and get 732 and 733, docket Dundee 64? Those are the ones that we now have the information up on. That's the Dundee Commons property.
Actually, I think we were looking for a stipulation, so we can look for that stipulation, but
Table it to a future meeting then.
or at the end of this meeting, if that's okay.
You want to hold it to the end. The only reason is that's the only reason Mr. Dorada is on the call for is that docket was the reason.
Okay, then that being the case, let's go back to, you said 732 and 733, right?
Those agenda item numbers, that's docket number 2020-DUCM-0064. And then those are two parcel numbers together. The recommendation in the agenda is to confirm based on evidence submitted. There was discussion about a stipulation, but not that the board thought there was clarity enough to move forward. So we wanted to restore the evidence. So Mr. Gerardo would also have full access to that to see if there was anything else the board wanted to consider.
And what's that number again?
64.
The docket is Dundee 64.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's still no stipulation. And I think that probably would have been sent. Would that have gone to Jody or to Mark?
I did not
Donna.
receive a stipulation on this. Jody, did you receive a stipulation on docket 64?
I do not have one, no.
Okay.
Just as a point of information, if a stipulation does arrive in the next few weeks or so, this can also be addressed at the December meeting. So if you wanted to do what you did, for instance, on docket Hampshire 9, where a multi-year stipulation was received after that, you could address that at the December meeting if you decide to.
Okay. Okay, so
it just stands as confirmed?
Confirm, right?
Yeah, I'm asking if there's any reason not to confirm the figures.
None for me.
None for me.
Okay, then it would be my motion to confirm the figures. As Mark has pointed out, we've got a couple different pins, and I'm actually looking at totals. But the pin ending in 276.
Since you're confirming in the record, it's already in the record, you can certainly do this with one motion to confirm the existing assessments. You wouldn't need to give us the numbers.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. That would be my motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
Okay, now we're going back to Geneva 32, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's me again.
This is a unique situation.
I'm echoing in my own voice, so it's hard to talk. Anyways, this property was sold at a tax sale, and the previous owner, the one that lost it to the tax sale, was still occupying the property. The new owner made an agreement with the previous owner that if he fixed up the property, they would sell it. So that's where we're at with that. There is a 2018 home inspection showing that the property needed many improvements, which you can read. And Alex lowered the value to $1, and I am definitely not in agreement with that, being that he didn't do an on-site inspection and he didn't have any intentions of doing an on-site inspection until 2021. And we have a home inspection report from 2018 with no evidence as of January 1st of 2020, meaning no photos, no cost to cure, and the previous owner was living there until January 2020. When I asked council what they were doing with the property, he told me they had made no decision. So the property is still sitting in the condition of when the previous owner left it at the beginning of the year.
In that condition, we really don't know what it is, correct?
Well, I just don't have enough current evidence to know, is it exactly the same as 2018? Since they didn't provide us with any pictures or any documentation, and they didn't provide us with any quotes for a cost to cure, I'm just not sure. Going down to $1, which I'm not going to agree to. I already signed, I'm not agreeing to that, based on a lack of information or evidence.
And obviously, nothing came in on 19, on the year 19. No evidence at all.
No, there's no evidence at all, except for the previous owner was living there until January of 2020.
So it was habitable.
That's what my thoughts are.
Okay, in addition to what we're gonna discuss in terms of condition and whatnot, there's the agreement is more than $100,000, if I'm not mistaken, and units were not notified because I don't think that they properly filled out the complaint form. Yeah, it is over 100,000, so we know what our max reduction would be, and it'd be less, or it'd be, it would be more than the 28,000 combined. Does anyone know, Bennett Street, if I'm not mistaken, is Route 25?
That is correct.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm wondering if this this overlooks the river, on the east side of the street, or east side of the street, and I'm wondering what the topography might be. Because one of the arguments that the appellant made was, well, it's the land value less less demolition. And if that's the case, I recognize that the assessor is trying to be uniform, and I appreciate that. However, if the argument on the taxpayer's part is that it's land value, then we'd be looking at what, $90,000, close to $90,000 for fair cash on that size site. So I'm throwing that out because I think it's something that we should consider. The $1, I don't think it's that unusual if in fact the property is a demolition candidate, but we don't have enough information to state that. I mean, Sherry, as you point out, the inspection report is a couple years old, and we don't know whether or not there had been work done. So I'm struggling with this as well.
If there was no evidence submitted by pictures or some evidence that would identify that it's not habitable or it's close to that, I don't know how we can make a decision.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, you asked about the location of the property. It is on the east side of Bennett. That is Route 25. And it is across the street from the southern driveway entrance to the small park that is between Route 25 and the river, just north of Route 38. It's about 3 lots south of Euclid Avenue.
Okay. I'm noticing too, this is an equity complaint, and the taxpayer has provided 2 out of 3 comps on Bennett within a couple blocks, and they are different in style and different in size and whatnot. But there may be an equity argument. The subject's pretty big. It's 2-story hillside configuration, but the bottom line is I don't think we can accept the stipulation for one, because it's not equitable. And two, it's over the $100,000 threshold. So Mike, what are your thoughts? I mean, our hands are kind of tied on this, but
I think we just go to the report that is in there, even though it's dated. A lot of it says satisfactory. So at whatever point that was done, it wasn't uninhabitable. And since no one supplied anything from that point, as Dino noted, there's really no evidence to tell us that we should take it to $1. So I think, including the two items you mentioned there, Mr. Chairman, yeah, there's no way to lower this to $1.
okay, then let's then talk about the land. Do we keep the land the same? I'm assuming there's a uniformity there at 28,441. And then what do we do with the improvements?
Confirm it.
Well, I will say that council was saying there's no bathrooms, there's no kitchen in it.
Well, how can anybody be living there then?
Well, that was my question, and that's why I thought an on-site inspection would have been called for, but the Geneva office decided not to, and aren't going to do one until 2021. If I had a cost to cure, even some quotes, I probably would have done a reduction, not down to $1, but there's just not enough evidence there to show what the current state of that property is in for me to do a reduction.
Okay, this question is for Sherry and Mike and Dino. Based on what you see, do you think that the existing structure has some contributory value?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, from the exterior, yes.
Okay, they paid $48,000 at tax sale. That's not reflective of market value, but so our job then is, I think we're all on board with the 28,441 for the land. So are we at $40,000 for the contributory value of a 2,000 square foot? Where are we at? 2,184 square feet, which includes the garage. It's about, it's not a whole lot of contributory value, but we need to come up with something.
Well, somehow the assessor came up with 120,193 the prior year for the improvements. So with no way to tell what happened in between, I don't have a reason to not go with the same number.
I think that's a good point, Mike. Go with that number.
And if they want to do an inspection and show it uninhabitable, well, that's another story. But that's, post whatever our decision is today.
Okay, I didn't see any evidence in terms of building code violations or anything along those lines. I saw just the inspection, right?
Right.
And I think you mentioned that in 19 there was nothing. There was no evidence submitted, right?
Well, just the representation of the representative in that letter.
Okay. If someone was living there as of January 1st, then it appears to be habitable. It might be really, really rough, but if I'm hearing you gentlemen right, you think a confirmation is appropriate.
Yes.
Okay, and Dino, you too.
Yes.
Let me just ask one more question, and that is on the equity argument. If you look at the three comparables and two being on the same street, they're for the most part considerably smaller, and therefore they should be, they should have lower improvement assessments. So I'm going to ask the question again: is confirmation appropriate?
Yes.
I say yeah. I say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If I can check with the clerk, just so the just so the numbers, I want to make sure these are published, land at 28,441 and building at
Correct.
120,193 for a total assessed of 148,634. Is that correct,
All
Mark?
correct. Yes,
Okay,
all
it is
correct.
my motion to confirm those based on the evidence we had in our discussion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay. To this point, Sherry, we've covered everything that you've got so far, right? In the order of the dockets?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next one is Dundee 121. And as I stated, I'm going to keep the recommendation confirmation because I thought something would come in. It has not. So I'm going to move to confirm, and unless you gentlemen have any questions of me.
None from me.
I have none.
All right, then that is my motion to confirm, and I don't have a total. I have a total of 688,038. I don't have the breakdown, so I'm assuming, Mark, those do total 688,038.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I was working on a technical issue here at the office. Could you read those again, please?
I even pull it up other than I see that the total is 688,038.
Yeah, the land is 385. The land is 385,150. The improvement is 302,888 for the same total 688,038.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's the motion. All in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay. Kevin, we're going to you next. Let's see, we are going into, we're staying in Dundee Township. Late 95. And Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, the recommendation is a revalue based on assessor recommendation?
Yeah, can you recall what's the address of the property? And
I'll get there.
Tell you in a second. It's 1001 Weisman Drive, West Dundee.
okay, was that the industrial building or what was the?
It is an industrial building at
Yeah.
that location, and I know I heard other ones in that park
Okay.
this same year. So
Yeah, so the recommendation, I believe it was an agreement. I don't have the file in front of me, but agreement between the assessor and the taxpayer.
actually, his evidence says that there's a recommendation. I think that in generally speaking, he agreed with the appraisal, but had some issues, and so he made the recommendation without a stipulation, unless you know otherwise, Kevin.
Okay, yeah, I don't have the file in front of me, but
Okay.
Gentlemen, the final analysis by the assessor indicated recommend reduction by stipulation only to 12,673,000. Otherwise, confirmation.
otherwise what? I'm sorry, do you know?
Confirmation.
Okay,
Okay, well, this is another one where we don't have a stipulation, I don't think.
if it was an appraisal that was submitted by the taxpayer, and if the assessor did not give any evidence, I had to go with the preponderance of the evidence. And if the assessor did not provide any, I can try to pull it up here really quick if you give me the.
The assessor did provide, yeah, the assessor definitely provided evidence.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me-
just a couple items.
Let me pull up, see if I can pull up the file here.
5.
you give me the day that the hearing was? You have it in front of you?
It
I
was
do not-
on October
It's on
6th.
October 8th.
October 8th, thank you. And then what was the docket number?
Dundee 90,
95.
95, okay.
95, yeah.
Let me pull it up right now here. Just pull up the file now. All right, Tim, you had mentioned that you heard several other cases in that complex this year.
Yes, and actually there were some stipulations, but I think there were recommendations as well.
Okay, how does the recommendation with this one compare to the cases that you did? Are they uniform with your
There's
decisions on
several
there?
of those buildings over there that are built out in a specialized manner and perhaps super adequate to an extent. But in Mike's review of all of these things, he made what I think are prudent recommendations. I looking through the appraisal right now, and then I already looked at Mr. Belak's recommendation, and Mike is often willing to work, and sometimes if stipulations come through, his preference is to just have a confirmation. So again, I don't think we've received anything in terms of a stip. Whether or not we will, remains to be seen. As Marcus mentioned earlier, if something does come through in the next, say 21 days, we might be able to do something with this. But so again, you're stating that we should revalue this based on assessor recommendation, but I think Mr. Belak wants to make sure that we don't give away the store for a PTAB down the road where it may end up being less depending. So was that your read on it, Kevin? That
You know what? The file is still pulling up. I think the download speed's going a little slower than desired here. So just a minute till it downloads here.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with Tim there to just essentially confirm it and leave it alone because it is likely a PTAB case in the future.
Yeah, and I'm completely fine with that if the full board is in agreement with confirming it.
okay? Dino, you good as well?
Yeah, I was just trying to get the what the square footage is at that 12,673,000 recommendation.
That's a big file.
It's 133,400 square feet.
Say that again?
133,400 is the square footage.
So this is upwards of $90 plus. Again, though, it's got finish that is greater than your typical warehouse or industrial concern.
Yeah, that's coming in at an assessed value of $31.66 a square.
Well, the $95 is, I'm going to go back to, I think confirmation is appropriate. There are in the assessor's evidence, there are a number of issues brought up about the appraisal, which is at I think 9.6 million. Mike, are you good then with confirmation? I know we've discussed it already, but
yes.
Okay, Dino, are you?
Yes.
Okay, again, I'm reloading this file. If someone's got the figures in front of it, it looks like the total is 4,449,468.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the current land is 1,030,932. The current improvement is 3,418,536.
Okay. All right, so the confirmation would be at those figures. That's the motion. All in favor, or is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Okay.
And just for reference for you gentlemen and everyone else on the call here, I'm working off of the Excel sheet on the master tab. And it has the dates and times of the hearings, and it has the breakdown of the assessment levels, so.
Okay. I printed out a bunch of stuff. I printed out just these complaints, the highlighted ones, but I didn't print out the right side of the sheet. I did, but I pitched it. If we can move on then to docket or item number 742, which is Dundee 131.
Mr. Chairman, I would note that 743 is also 131, a second parcel.
Thank you. Okay. Here we have Kevin is stating to confirm one, which I'm assuming is the land, and then revalue the other, and that's based on an assessor recommendation as well. Kevin, do you have this file in front of you?
I am pulling it up right now. Just got the last one pulled up from before I was out of that one. So now I can, hopefully this one will open up quicker than the previous one. So why don't you go ahead, Mr. Chairman, kind of talk about your concerns about was this the confirmation? Can you kind of refresh my mind what the decision was?
Yeah, once the report, it's another big report here. I'm still waiting for it to.
Yeah, it's a property on Davis Road Industrial Building. And I had a sale in March of 2017 for $3,360,000.
So the total. Okay. Oh, this one.
Yeah, the recommendation was half of the factor by the assessor.
Okay, Mr. Clerk.
Sir.
Can we rearrange or can we postpone this to the December hearing?
Then in that case, a motion to table docket numbers 742 and 743, docket Dundee 131 to the December meeting would be in order.
That's what I would move.
I guess I'll second that.
All in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Kevin, do you have the report or the information up on this?
Probably another 10 or 15 seconds, and it should be loaded up here. So.
The reason I asked, Kevin, is because actually I think I was definitely at this hearing, and your name is attached to it, so I did not review it at length. But now that I see it,
just pull it up here. All right. All right, yes, I do have it up here.
That look familiar to you?
Let me pull it up here and let you know. Look through it.
If you could take a look at an aerial, I think that you'll be able to answer my question.
Doesn't look too familiar, but
It's page, let's see, what is
112.
this? 20 of the PDF.
Page 20. Okay. See that now. And Mr. Chairman, your question there?
Does that look familiar to you?
For the hearing, you're saying?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, the solar panels there?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I've got you there.
Actually, I'm looking at page 123 of 125 on the PDF.
Yes, okay.
Did you hear this?
It does not, I don't believe I did on this one.
Okay, Mark, I think you'll recollect that we had Lauren Elliott on the phone with us, and she sent us information afterwards.
I do recall that, Mr. Chairman, regarding a docket. That may have been this one, and I may have inadvertently assigned Mr. Schellenberg's name to it.
Okay, yeah, actually, there's a lot of information here, and again, if it was flagged with my name, I would have reviewed it a lot. But Kevin, it's.
You had to pinch hit for, Mr. Schellenberg had a conflict that day, and you subbed in, and the name did not get switched.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, Kevin, I think we're set then. I know you've got, I don't think we have anything further with you, right, Kevin?
Not that I'm aware of, so.
Okay.
Did you want to switch with anyone, Kevin?
No, I was able to clear my morning, so I did not have to get off as earlier. Yeah, so the 8th, Mr. Chairman, I was not at those hearings, so those were,
Okay.
yeah, you had filled in for me that.
Okay, I knew
So
they sounded familiar, but there's no reason to go back to them.
Yeah,
For the
so
reasons
even
I gave that the township assessor, I'm sorry, Kevin.
yeah, so even the earlier hearing, I think docket number 95, I believe that was not my either. So.
Not an issue. As I stated many times, the assessor is willing to offer a stip, and if the numbers aren't agreed on, then he asked for confirmation. There are a number of assessors do that, and with good reason. Okay. All right, then then Mark, if I'm not mistaken, the next one is 744.
That's correct.
All right. And Mike, since you have this up, what's the date on it?
The date on this one would be 10/15.
Okay.
And it's at 1 o'clock, so it'll be B room.
Okay.
That's mine.
Yes, sir.
In this one here, the taxpayer and the tax assessor indicated that they would confer that Friday or Monday, and they would come up with a settlement for 2019 PTAB and a stipulation for 20. And they would send that agreement into Mark and the three of us. And I don't see in the file that occurred.
And Mark, you have no record of that?
Not at this time.
Okay, so with that being the case,
I would then move that this be confirmed based on the 2019 PTAB.
okay.
Hold on. If I could ask you to hold on a second, I want to check something on this.
Sure.
And this was the Walgreens, Dino?
Yes.
Okay, then that was, yes, Mr. Sullivan, you saw that stipulation, and you asked that we not accept it at this time because we have 18 other Walgreens that we're currently valuing at the same time. We did not want the one to set a precedent for the others.
Okay, that is, okay, I'm still pulling up the file, but if, Dino, that was, so Dino, your recommendation is still confirmation based on pending PTAB.
Yes, and Mark, the assessor, I understood, was going to reach out to you with respect to exactly that same issue, although he made some reference that the properties in his township, had some differences with the other townships.
Okay.
Mr. Sullivan knows all the details of that. I'll let him respond.
Yeah, we have received some information just in the last several days, looking for a multi-year settlement. The board review is not in the position at this point to accept it. So the bottom line on this one, then, the motion to confirm should probably go forward.
And that's still pending.
Okay.
That motion.
Yeah, I'll second that. All in favor? Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
Okay, next is 745, which is Dundee, I'm sorry, Rutland 24.
Yes, hold on one second. The concern I had with this one was that we have the subject building as being a precast. It was labeled as a Class C. However, the comps that were submitted, out of all of them, only one was within the township, was within our county. And all of the other ones were out of our area, and they all seem to have some issue. One did not have a broker involved. Another one had a high vacancy. Another one was a metal as opposed and was vacant. The other one was classified as a Class B with no buyer broker. The seller was a REIT. And I just had some concerns that the stipulation, and let me get to that. I started talking before I put that one up on the screen here. And so I just kind of felt that I was leaning that I really could not give much weight to the comps, even though there was a stipulation. I believe there was a stipulation on this one. Hold on a second.
Yeah, there was.
There was, yeah.
Okay.
There was.
And so that kind of concerned me, and I really wanted to defer to the other two board members with some comments.
I have a question for you.
If you go to the other file that was 025, there were all kinds of Kane County comps. Same attorney for the petitioner, and the assessor for that matter.
I have a question for you. With the comps that were in here, did the assessor supply any? Looks like they're all the same that the appellant supplied.
Yes, they were labeled. They were labeled that way. I believe. Hold on a second.
So I remember Belvedere and Woodstock and Wakanda were in the appellant.
Mike, he might have thrown in Batavia.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Just the first one.
I don't think he had that. All the other ones, they labeled the evidence as assessor / taxpayer sale comparables.
Right.
And there's only, then there's Woodstock, there's Belvedere, there's Wakanda,
Well,
Crystal, Belvedere, and then there was one Batavia.
my question would be is, why didn't they include anything from Dundee? Dundee Township's a lot closer.
You know,
In other words, I'm saying we shouldn't accept the stipulation. It's not a big difference, but I don't think, well, that's my opinion. It's not a big reduction, but I don't think the support is there. So that's my comments for this one.
This is a multiple pin, right?
Yes, 2 pins.
Two pins. Yeah, the small amount of land stayed the same.
Was there an intervener?
Hold on a second. Let me check.
Yeah, because it is checked off, but
Yeah, it's checked, but
it didn't go over 100.
I don't have mine marked for an intervener on mine, on my notes.
I'm of the same mind that I don't think the agreement should be honored. But do you think confirmation is appropriate?
Yes, based on the evidence, I would, that would be my motion, that it be confirmed. And I don't know what the appropriate entry would be other than based on evidence.
Point of clarification, you mentioned 2 parcels. I only see one on agenda item 745. Are we looking at the 2 parcels, 745 and 746?
I'll tell you in a second.
There's a multi-parcel addendum to
Yeah.
And I don't.
It ends in 019 and 003.
It could be that the other 2 parcels did not have changes. Jody, do you have any information?
Yeah, the other parcel was not flagged, so that was part of the consent agenda.
Got it. So we're only looking then at parcel 740, or the parcel 0207 101
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, so Dino, you're good with confirmation on this particular pin?
Correct.
Okay.
That I am. And I would make my motion based on our discussion to confirm the assessment.
Second, all in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Okay, just for clarification, the non-consent agenda, where you do have this flag, your recommendation was revalued because of agreement between parties, but you flagged it because you didn't agree? I mean, was it just to notify yourself?
I honestly don't remember now.
Okay, all right, not a big deal.
I think I was trying to follow the instructions that even though I may have some questions, I still had to identify either confirmation or some reason, but then could flag it, to bring it up for discussion. So I honestly.
It's all right.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I really don't know what I was saying.
It's right, but the fact is we're discussing it now. So I was just wondering if there was a.
No, I really wanted to question it, and I didn't feel comfortable making that making a confirmation because there was a stipulation in there without some consensus by the full board.
Okay.
And Mr. Clerk, if I may ask?
Yes.
If there is another situation where I have a strong feeling to do the same thing, should I enter it as being a confirmation, but getting it flagged? Or does it make a difference as to what reason I give, as long as I see to it that it gets flagged?
What you should do is instruct the clerk to enter it the way you are going to recommend it to the full board. And then flag it so that the full board can have further discussion regarding some of the issues about it. But what the idea here is that the docket would show what your recommendation actually is. I'm not sure that actually happened there, but as Chairman Sullivan pointed out, as long as it's discussed here, the correct recommendation is moved, seconded, and voted on, you're doing well.
Okay, I just, if any of these records were to be subpoenaed as an example, I just want to make sure that the reason is not going to create, a contradiction in it. That's all. Okay, and that's the reason I'm focusing on that point.
We're fine with that, and just as a point of information, there'd be no need to subpoena any records because they are by definition public.
Understood.
Okay, let's move on to dockets or item 746, which is Rutland 26. And again, this is yours in.
I don't know why I flagged that. It should be confirmed based upon the stipulation.
I think I have a question on that.
Yeah, that contradicts what we're here for. If there's an agreement and it's something different than published, then it's a revalue. If that is your recommendation.
I think, you may have had a question on this because it's flagged as over 100,000 and we don't have a intervener signing off here. At least I didn't notice it anywhere. It could be somewhere.
Let me get to that one. That is.
I'm guessing that may have been part of the reasoning for flagging it.
Yeah, let me. I thought I looked at this thing yesterday, and are you saying that we do have an intervener on this?
No, it's flagged as it was. They were given notice, but there's no intervener signing off on the stipulation.
Right. And we know that if he does intervene, he likes to put his signature on there.
Right.
Well, where did I miss the identification that there's an intervener?
Just the red X on the form, but I don't see a letter in here either.
Right.
Stating that they are intervening.
The mere notice to the other taxing bodies does not automatically require consultation with them, correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
It's just my question whether they did or did not at the hearing.
Yeah, at the hearing. That's the question.
No,
Scott was on the phone.
I don't have any notation to that effect.
Okay.
Okay, but you are willing to accept the agreement though, because I think we're covered on the 100,000. If they were notified and didn't act, then I think we're covered on something above 100,000.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So you're good with what is, well, actually there's a reduction in land as well. Do you have the page that I'm looking at, which is the stipulation itself?
Yeah, hold on a second. I can get there.
All right.
I think it's the issue. It's going towards them side by side, like move the TV closer to you.
Let's leave it for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the stipulation in front of me.
And you're good with that?
Yes. Do you want me to read it? Yeah.
You want to put that in the form of a motion?
Yeah, my motion is to confirm the revaluation based on stipulation. The land is 500,000 even. The improvements are 1,018,248 for a total of 1,518,248.
Second, all in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
And the next one is 747. This is Rutland 38.
On this one, after I reviewed my notes, I had a question with respect to industrial versus office comps, but I realized that my notes also indicated that it probably was okay, and I would identify that case number ending in 013
Okay.
would be confirmed.
There's a stip on this as well, isn't there?
Correct.
So accept the agreement?
Accept the stipulation.
Okay. We're just trying to make sure that the language is correct.
Yes. Again, the agreement between the parties. I'm not sure how that I hit on that entry when there's a stipulation. I just can't remember now why I mentioned that as opposed to a stip.
Okay.
So I would move that
we're looking at a lot of the same comparables that were on the concrete building that we had a couple hearings ago, but this one is it's brick and steel. It looks like it's got pretty decent clearance, but you're comfortable with the stipulation?
Yes.
All righty. You want to put that in the form? Mike, you're good with it as well?
Yes.
You want to put it in the form of a motion, Dino?
Yes. I would move that the assessment be reduced, leaving the land the same at 333,043. The improvements reduced to 966,202 for a total of 1,299,245, and it's a written stipulation.
I would second it. All in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay, next is it's a Geneva, and Dino, you are the hearing officer on it. This is complaint 748.
Yes, let me get to that. I really did not have much objection. I didn't have really an objection other than the subject had a right of first refusal in its lease. And if you will permit me a moment to get to that. It's a Geneva one, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure if the right of first refusal was of sufficient impact to make some difference in valuation or in that aspect. And so that's why I brought that up to frankly maybe learn something.
Was there a recent transfer?
You know.
Dino?
Here.
Hold on a second.
Hopefully that fixes it. Camera back on me. Camera back on me. Camera back on me.
I'm looking at my notes now. That is case ending in 011.
Right.
We've got a pending P tab. I don't know why that again is coming up as agreement between parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, my question is why you're bringing up any reference to a right of first refusal, unless there was a transaction.
That's a good question. I'm trying to look at my notes now. This should be confirmed. I'm looking at my notes, and I'm sorry that I can't.
Mr. Constance, when you say confirmed, do you mean the agreement should be what you'd recommend, or does it mean you want no change in the assessment and the agreement being disregarded?
I'm right. I'm going to go to the. I've got to go to the file. I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute. I'm losing my way here.
Geneva, and it's on 1019. And it would be room B.
Oh, hold on a second here. I've got the wrong.
It's Fabian Randall Plaza.
Hold on a second here. Hold on a minute. Let me get, I've got. Somehow I lost my being on the board hearings, and I've got to get back to that. All of you apologize for that. Now I've got to get to October 19th, correct?
Yes, correct.
In the afternoon, and I'm on 011.
Correct.
And Mark, did you say that there's a stipulation here?
Your recommendation, which was recorded for agenda item 748, docket Geneva 11, was to revalue based on an agreement between the parties.
The last 2 pages or so in the evidence. My question would be is that we don't have a signature from the intervener, and it appears that the intervener was likely at the hearing.
The intervener may have been at the hearing electronically.
Ah, yes.
Since no one else is allowed in the hearing, that would be my assumption.
And no
And
signature.
that's correct. I'm now looking at my notes on that file. I had the wrong sheet in front of me. The intervener indicated that his client would not sign off on the STIP while the 2020 PTAB, and that also confirmed my conclusion as well. There is a case numbered 057 indicating that the 219 PTAB dismissed or settled. So I would have to go then to that case identified in my notes as 057. Is that one? That is not on our list here that I'm able to see.
2020 docket.
Pardon me?
Are you referring to a 2020 docket?
For 2019.
I'm assuming so.
Or is that a PTAB docket? Probably not with that low of a number.
No.
No. I made a reference here to see my notes on 057. And my recommendation is based on the 2019 PTAB being dismissed or settled, plus the intervener okaying on the STIP. And I missed that reference. I had so many notes on this one. I missed that reference. So somehow I've got to get back to the 057.
Docket 057 is a class 40 property that was confirmed, was already confirmed a little bit ago based on evidence submitted. So that's a residential property. So 057 is not a commercial property. It's also located in section 8 of Geneva Township, so it wouldn't be near this property either. Guessing it refers.
Just so I have a real clear picture on this. There was an intervener on the 2020 hearing. There's still a pending 2019 PTAB. There's an agreement for 2020 that has no reference to the 19 being closed out, and the intervener has not signed off on this.
Correct, and I cannot reconcile my notes with respect to that 057. All that I've got in here is that my recommendation is based on the 19 PTAB being dismissed or settled, and the intervener okaying this stipulation.
Well, at this point, we don't have the 19, so I think it would be best to confirm this until such action is taken by either the intervener or the counsel for.
Yes, and I concur with that, with my notes not being consistent on what's happening.
Do you have any issue that if I make a motion to confirm based on pending PTAB, do you have any issue with that?
I have none. I have none. I concur.
Mike, are you good with that?
I think that makes sense.
And I will second that motion.
Okay, Mark, can we go back? There's a multi-pin addendum, I believe. Let me get there. Are there 3 or 2?
There's 2 pins, but we only have 1 on our non-consent agenda. The one was confirmed at its current assessment. So.
And was that land?
Yes, and I think Jody said it was already taken care of in the consent agenda.
Okay, so then, okay. then the 2 pins that remain, whatever they might be, we would ask to confirm that. I think I put that in the form of a motion. And Mark, you do have the numbers that we're referring to, right?
Yes, for a confirmation. On this one, I'm looking at PTAB's appeal status inquiry. There pending 2019. There was no filing in 18. There was one in 17 where the appellant withdrew. But the 19 file has 2 parcels on it. One is land only, one is building. So that is consistent with what your description is, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right, so that's the motion. Was there a second?
Yes, I seconded.
Okay, all in favor, Sullivan, yes, for confirmation?
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
All righty. Let's move on then. This is, the next one is item 749, and this is for something in St. Charles. Michelle, you're going to join us this time.
Yeah, actually, Sherry and I switched days. So I actually was the hearing clerk on the 21st and she was on the 20th.
Okay.
You there, Sherry?
I am.
Okay.
So did you look at these, Sherry?
I didn't look at this one.
Okay.
I don't believe. Tell me which year it is.
For confirmation based on evidence submitted. That's complaint St. Charles complaint 126.
Okay. Oh, Diane was going to make a visit to that property.
Okay.
So it was confirmed until further inspection can be done.
Okay.
I don't know why it was flagged.
Oh.
Maybe just because there was going to be a visit, an on-site visit.
Okay, but we have
and there may be a reduction in the future.
In the future, but at this point, there's no reason to believe anything supports a reduction.
Mr. Chairman?
Right.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. Jody, you have some information about this parcel?
Yes, Diane did submit a recommendation. Let me pull it up. She did go back out to the house. She recommends revaluing the building to $48,186 for a total of $70,618.
And did she have any reasoning for that? Just so.
There were repairs that needed to be done to that property.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Diane noted that several issues above and beyond general maintenance.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Jody, the land would remain the same at 22,432?
Correct.
Okay. Is Mike or Dino, do you have any concerns with the recommendation?
No.
No.
To me. It'd be my motion to accept the assessor's recommendation, and that is to keep the land the same at 22,432, reduce the improvements to 48,186. That should total 70,618. Second, is there a second?
I'll second
it.
Okay. All right. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
All righty. Sherry, the next one is item number 750. This is for St. Charles, complaint 18.
This is a similar situation where there was information uncovered at the hearing. The assessor's office made an on-site visit and suggested a further reduction, and I'm in agreement with it. The land is $30,800. The improvements would be reduced to $63,630 for a total of $94,430 for 1 year only.
Okay, was that in the evidence? I'm looking now. Was that in? Because didn't the cover letter say?
It's not in the evidence because the on-site inspection take place after the hearing.
Subsequent. Okay, Jody, do you have anything on from the township on this one?
Yes, she did just submit that last Thursday.
Okay, and is it as Sherry just mentioned?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
All right.
I read it to
It
you
is,
directly
yes.
off the agenda.
Yep.
Okay, can you repeat those, Sherry or Jody, either one?
Sure. The land is 30,800. The improvements would be reduced to 63,630 for a
Okay.
total of 94,430.
Okay, that would be my motion to make that revalue, the total 94,430, based on assessor's recommendation
For 1 year only.
Motion.
for 1 year only. I'm sorry, there was a second, Dino?
I'll
or-
second that motion.
Okay, all in favor. Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay. Sherry, the next one we have is item 751, and this is for complaint, St. Charles complaint one. All right, where are we at here?
I'm sorry, St. Charles what?
61.
Okay. That is a similar situation where we discovered information during the hearing, and it was a physical discrepancy requiring remeasuring. So I confirmed it so that Diane's office or St. Charles could go and remeasure.
Has that taken place to your best of your knowledge, or Jody?
Yes, she did go out and remeasure. She says the house was remeasured to 3587 and has a recommendation to reduce.
Okay, those numbers are what?
The land 36063, the building 134201 for a total of 170,264.
Okay, my motion would be to accept the assessor's recommendation based on a remeasure. And Mark, I'm assuming you have the numbers that Jody just read into the record, which would total
Yes.
170,264. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay, now is this one, the next one is 752, which is St. Charles 77. It's got Sherry's name on it.
For
but
me.
Is this, Michelle, something you did?
Yeah, and I believe that this one might have been pulled because the attorney representing the taxpayer was going to send in a letter of withdrawal. Jody, did you get that?
Hold on, I'm trying to pull that up. What was the complaint number? We're at 77.
For St. Charles.
What date?
1021.
1021.
Hold on, I'm looking to see who the attorney is.
Okay. Let's see. Edmund Bolin, possibly?
I do not see any withdrawal letter.
Okay, so without a letter of withdrawal, basically the home sold in 2018, but they had updated, finished the basement since then, so it would be my recommendation to confirm.
Okay. Okay, Mike or Dino, questions of Michelle?
No, I wouldn't have any.
Yeah, none for me either.
Okay, so it would be, let's see, motion to confirm. I know it totals 117,973.
Right.
Let's see, the land is at
22,777.
all right, 95,196 for total 117,973. That's my motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay. We move back to Dundee, item 753 and Dundee complaint 213. And Mike, what was the hearing date on this?
Hearing date is 10/22. And this is just really more of an informational flag
Okay.
because this is a Holiday Inn hotel.
Okay.
And there was an appraisal that was only signed by one of the appraisers, which was an odd thing. And then it actually had two values, one for January 1st of 2020, and then an April 15th, 2020 with a COVID-19 conclusion.
Okay.
So it was an odd hearing, but I just wanted to, FYI, the other board members that this would be coming around. And it additionally had a rather large deduction for furniture, fixtures, and equipment, which they were calling the return on and the return of, which I haven't seen anybody else use that in any of the appraisals that we see, but maybe this is something that's going to be coming around. So it's informational.
Was that a Skidelsky complaint?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
With a Maru's appraisal.
Yeah, I recall him sending some information that he knows he shouldn't have.
Right.
Okay. So Mike, if I'm hearing this right, you are looking for a confirmation on both?
Correct.
Okay. Do you want to make the motion to that?
Yes. I would move to confirm based upon evidence submitted with a total. Do you need the breakdown?
If it's a confirmation, we do not. I just need clarity if you're using both items 753 and 754 are both included in your motion.
Yes, with the total for 753 at 3,676,978, and for 754, that is just land at 211,300. That would be my motion.
Second, all in favor, Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Okay, next would be 755. This is an Aurora complaint number 133.
Yes, and 133, 136, 180, and 187. I'm not sure why those are on there. I reviewed them already, and I can't figure out what the reasoning was. So I think they may have been flagged out by mistake here. So I would just, well, actually, the first one was revalued. So I guess we're gonna have to do them one by one.
Okay.
No, if you want to move that all four under the same are done as proposed in the docket listing, you can do all four on one motion.
Okay, that would be my motion to accept the proposed action as noted in the non-consent agreements.
A second, all in favor, Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
That brings us to item 759.
Okay, that one, I'm double checking. The next two are mine, and they were both St. Charles Township. And I'm not sure why they were flagged again, but let me just make sure the math is right.
What's the date?
10/26, 1 p.m.
Thank you.
This might have been a case where we were waiting for a drop of a 2019. But now that I look at it, that's not the case. It is still revalued based on evidence. I don't have those figures, Mark. I'm assuming you have them.
An assessor recommendation.
Yeah, but Okay, that might have come during the hearing.
It
Yeah, I
might, what would you like the reason to be, Mr. Chairman?
Evidence submitted.
Very good.
Okay.
Are you taking both of these together at the values presented?
No, I'm going to go to the next one, Mark, is because it's more sizable, and
So you're just doing 92 right now?
that's right.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, actually, I think I might have flagged this because I thought there might be some agreement at a later date. I don't think we have that. There's a pretty sizable change, though.
Are you still on St. Charles 92? I'm only showing an $8,900 reduction.
That's correct. Yes, that was the motion.
Very good.
Okay. I don't know if it was seconded or voted on.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, did we proceed with
I'm sorry.
anything on that?
Okay, I would move that the reduction of whatever that $8,900 is, based on evidence, be the revalue reason.
And I'll second that motion.
All in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Tim, are you on 97 now?
I'm moving to 97, which is St. Charles 97, but it's item 760. Check here. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to move to confirm this. And that's based on evidence submitted.
Confirm the original values.
That's correct.
Okay. All right, I'll second that.
All in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay, 761 is Elgin Township, and it takes up quite a few pins. And the argument is preferential assessment.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman?
those are mine, Tim.
Yes.
The 761 and 760, the reason that was flagged at that time was because we were still having some input, and Mr. Armstrong was gathering some data, and and that's been concluded. The reevaluation should go to $1 on 761 and 762 as open land.
Okay.
And so that should be confirmed, those two numbers.
Okay, I jumped the gun. I went to the third one down from there. So Dino, you want to put that in the form of a motion? And I think Mark's already got this, and you've given the reason, so.
Yes, on 761 and 762, it would be confirmed based on the evidence, and that would be revalued as open land for $1 on each one of them.
I would second. All in favor. Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Now, the rest of these going down from 763 all the way through to 792
Okay.
are in the same subdivision and had to do with having several neighborhoods in the subdivision, and then they were split off to different owners after they were platted. And I believe, Mark, I hope you've got that memory better than mine. I did have some material that you had submitted to me. The issue was when the property was platted. Is that correct, Mark? And then sold off, and whether those values would be maintained as unimproved, although they would have a platted value. Did I say it correctly, Mark?
I believe so, yes. This was on the application of section 1030 of the property tax code, the preferential assessment for subdivided land.
Correct. And with the material that was submitted and reviewed, those values would be upheld as being subdivided lots, but not improved lots. And all of those would be confirmed based on the values that are indicated in the non-consent list.
Mark, for additional guidance, does this hinge on timing or status?
I'll be honest, I don't recall the specifics of it. I believe we had a little bit of both on this.
Yes, it is both. You're right, Mark.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, there may have been subdivisions and then re-subdivisions later on. But the question of whether the values here were correct, I don't believe there's any contention as to how those values were developed. It was all saying, well, we should get a special deal, but no support for what the special deal value should be.
Okay, well, the only other thing here is I see that there's an equity component, and which every one of these 1030s are unique, and so I'm not really sure how Elgin Township reached the conclusion on the equity argument, but as far as the other, my inclination would be that the confirmation is absolutely correct. Mike, are you on the same page?
Yes.
Okay. Watch this fell swoop. Can you do the honors?
We already made it. There's already a motion to confirm based on Evans submitted on the floor. It just needs a second.
I'll second. All in favor? Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay. That
right.
moves us to item 793. Do I have that right, Mark?
Yes.
Okay.
Where is it?
This is St. Charles once again. This is complaint 005.
Yes, that one had a multi-year settlement agreement in the packet that was reached after the hearing that would require 2019 to be withdrawn, and the values for 2020 set at $305,625 for land, $161,137 for improvements, and $466,762 for the total. The intervener, the assessor, and the complainant have all agreed on those, and it includes the withdrawal of the 2019 PTAB.
And there's no 18, Mark, 2018?
I don't believe there are any other pending PTABs on this.
Okay. Dino, that's yours. So
Yes.
You're good with the numbers that Mark just ran by, right?
Yes, it was 19 and 20.
Can you make a motion to that effect?
I will make a motion that 793 be confirmed based upon the stipulation and the withdrawal. I guess that's it.
Okay, the use of the word confirm, though, I think you want to accept.
Accept, I'm sorry.
For the published figure.
And I don't have those figures
Mark,
written
add that
down.
into the record. So.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a motion. Was there a second on that? If there wasn't, there is now, all in favor. Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Okay, the next one is 794, complaint 7 in St. Charles. Dino, this is yours as well.
Yes, there was supposed to be a stip in by the attorneys, by the attorney and the assessor by November 13th. I did not have anything that I saw. Mark or Jody?
I don't have anything on this unless it came in very, very recently.
I'm looking right now to see if I have anything.
If something does come in, it can be handled at the December meeting, much like Hampshire 9 was today.
Okay.
So that would mean a confirmation, Dino?
Yes, if nothing has come in, Jody, then I would move that, I think I did confirm, I think I did already identify that there would be a confirmation based on the pending PTAB.
You did.
So do we need to move that again, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, then I make a motion that 794 be confirmed based on a pending PTAB.
Second, all in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Majoric, yes.
Constance, yes.
All right, the next one is St. Charles as well, and this is Dino, and you, we're on 24, 795, item 795, complaint 24.
Yes, on this one here, there's a pending PTAB as it's identified. However, the St. Charles assessor has indicated rather strongly that we consider increasing the 2020 assessment. And I was not comfortable doing that without submitting it to the, to the full board. And so I wanted to identify that with the pending PTAB. I'm not. There seemed to be some reason to consider an increase, but with the pending PTAB, I wasn't comfortable doing that.
Did, at the hearing, did Mr. Medlin discuss the pending PTAB?
No.
Okay, so the suggestion is to raise it based on the information he has supplied.
Correct.
So we have an acquisition price back in March of 18 for $14,675,000, and the assessed values lower than that somewhat by close about $1 million. Okay, I'm reading Dave's cover letter. Well, Dino, let me ask you this. Do you remain uncomfortable in terms of raising it?
Well, I just didn't, I can't remember a time, it's been few and far between that I even recall, even considering it. And I remember one time that I just didn't feel comfortable, raising it. I don't remember why. And that's why I thought that I would, submit this based on what I said.
Okay, well, I think the key thing is, and Mike, please weigh in on this as well. I think the key thing is that Dave is looking at the sale. I mean, it's very clear, and as has been ruled at both the board and PTAB, a recent sales the best indicator. There's conflicting information, not conflicting information, but contrary information in the appellant's brief. So Mike, my inclination is to confirm it, but Mike, what are your thoughts on increasing?
I would consider that if there was some better information. I mean, he does have some sales in here, but they're not always that comparable because you have some, what you might consider Class A type properties mixed in with, you know, your average properties. And I don't necessarily agree that just because it's sold for that, it might be that now. So I wouldn't raise it.
Okay, so Dina, with that being said, are you good with confirmation?
Yes, yes, I would, yes, on 795, I would move that the assessment be confirmed based on a pending PTAB.
Okay. And that total, the total published is 4,551,518, correct?
Correct.
All right, I would second the motion. All those in favor, Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Jarek, yes.
Okay. As everyone knows, on occasion, I recuse myself for a variety of reasons. Item number 796 is one of those, I believe. If not, then the next three are, but let me get there. St. Charles. Mark, you wanna take it from here? I'm not going, I'm mute, or I will mute, or I will step away, but
You'll be not commenting on these, correct?
yes, that is correct. No comments.
And what's the date on that again?
10/28.
Thank you.
These are the ones. These are the ones, Mr. Constance, Mr. Majerick, that I sent out a report of the clerk.
Okay.
Mr. Sullivan asked me to handle the hearings on these four dockets, are these four items, which are three dockets, St. Charles 21, 26, and 29. So in your packet that was sent out, there is a report of the clerk that went over all those. So looking at those in number, I'm going to give you some information that came up at the hearing. The evidence is available for review on the normal SharePoint process, but then you'll have to discuss and make a recommendation and make the motion. I do not have a recommendation. There is no alternate process for this for me to provide a recommendation for you. So to make sure we're all looking at the same place, we start with docket number 21. That's of St. Charles. This is number 796 on our agenda items. This is in St. Charles Township, parcel 0925152006. The owner of record is STC Capital Bank. And you can see where it is located on the south side of Foxfield Road. This is in a commercial center that is roughly at the northwest quadrant of Kirk Road and Main Street or Route 64 in St. Charles. To the east of this parcel, you can see is a Hampton Inn. To the west is a car wash. To the south is a retail center. To the north of it is a vacant parcel that's between a childcare facility and a medical office building. If you look on page 2 of that report, we can see the current valuation of the land as a fair cash value of $2,166,754. The complainant is Wintrust Financial Corporation. That's a successor owner to STC Capital Bank. Their contention was over valuation, and their contention was the fair cash value as of January 1st, 2020 should be set at $1.3 million. You'll notice some information I had on the complainant's case in chief and some questions that were asked by the assessor and by me as the hearing clerk. At the bottom of page 3 begins the assessor's complaint in chief, our case in chief. And you can see their contention is that the property was correctly valued at fair cash value of $2,166,754. The respondent's case in chief and some response information that came out in the hearing was there. There is no pending PTAB on this property. Mr. Majerick, as the senior member by seniority of the ones who are participating, I turn the meeting back over to you.
Okay. All right, Dino, are you able to look at the information?
Yes, I'm looking through it now.
Okay. Generally speaking, the appraisals on these properties from this particular firm are light on the valuation side. And I'm just looking to confirm that as I scroll through. Just in general, the $1.2 million sounds a little low to start off, so.
Point of reference is $1.3 million.
Pardon me?
The appraisal report by the complainant cited a fair cash value of $1.3 million, not $1.2 million.
Okay. So Dino, for your reference, I just simply go to the cost approach and look and see if they add a developer profit, which they usually leave out in. I don't see it in here. So right off the bat, the valuation conclusion is probably low. And
that cost factor, Mike, would be what? What percentage?
10 to 15%. And then also they have a pretty high depreciation amount here. That's the usual scenario that they do. And then if we go to the sales, I'm sure there is some location adjustments missing. It's the normal MO. Yeah, and then when you go to the income approach, the usual scenario here is they never use current market rents. They always find leases from multiple years ago, which don't necessarily reflect what the current market is. So it simply confirms to me that the report isn't reliable. Now I'll just go to assessor information. I'm just going to walk through my methodology here so you know where I'm going, Dino.
Okay.
All right, let's see. I look at the assessed information and they have it at $318.64 a square foot, which seems kind of high, given that the building is 6,800 square feet. You know, if it was a 2,000, 3,000 square foot building, then it might be up in that high dollar per square foot amount. I'm gonna mute myself here for a minute while this phone rings, but keep reviewing there, Dino.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dino, sorry, I'm back.
No, I'm not sorry you're back.
Okay. I've done a lot of the hearings for St. Charles on these banks this year, and most of them are coming in around 250 to 290 a square foot. And the comps that are in here from the assessor's office are 182 to 287. And surprisingly, they only have 3 here.
Then what are, they're obviously then missing other comps.
Yeah.
If we're coming in at 250 to 290 as a range.
Right, so I would think this would need to come down a bit to at least the 290 level. Maybe you want to make an argument that it could go down to assessor comp 3, which is also complaint comp 7. That's assuming that you are willing to look at a February 2020 sale.
Well, again, we wind up in the last session of our board indicating that any sale after 30 days of the lien date would be considered, but not anything beyond that, even as a subject, but I don't, and I'm sure it should then apply to comps as well. Would you agree?
Yeah, and it's going to be really close, so.
Well, I understand. That's why
The only thing you could maybe surmise out of this is that maybe the bank values are coming down a bit. So for me, I would say we could take it down to maybe 285 or 290 a square foot, and it would probably be more in line with market.
If that 820, if that comp 3 is a comparable location, or would it be superior?
Probably a superior location, but it's a much smaller building.
Correct.
So, which way to go? And also the subject has the full finished basement, which is, we don't know how much that's done. Maybe the vault's down there or something like that, and a couple offices, so it might not be very dramatic and on a value basis.
Well, if we've got a 2008 built on the subject, that's only a small variation, but still.
Just to call your attention, testimony at the hearing is on page 4 of 4 regarding the quality of the basement. The testimony of the township assessor was that the basement is fully finished and is of equal quality to the above grade finish. There was no testimony of any kind from the complainant regarding the basement. That is up to you. I want to make sure that since that was your question and that did come out in the testimony, that was on the record.
All right. There you go, Dino. So maybe we take it to keep it to the high end of that range.
Of that 290?
Yeah, 285, 290. I did it at 280, it's $1,904,000. So that helps from a market standpoint. If you do it at 290, it's $1,972,000. So not a dramatic difference whether we pick, well, let me do 285 and then we have them all. $1,938,000 at 285. So it's just a matter of which one you're comfortable with. We can have our quorum here. Anyone look good to you?
Yeah, I think I would, well, of course, I can support all of them, but my thought would be the 290 at this point.
Okay. All right, I can live with that. 90. So I end up with a total assessment of 657,277. And our land, 195,994. Uh, 994. That leaves me an improvement value of 461,274. So that would be my motion to reduce the assessment based on evidence submitted. You have a second on that one, Dino?
I second that motion.
Okay, I guess all in favor, Majaric, yes?
Constance, yes?
And Mr. Armstrong, do you need anything further on this one?
No, we're good.
Okay.
If you're ready, we can move on to item 797, St. Charles docket 26. Parcel 0934137-006. I would note in the report that both the complainant and the assessor came to an agreement and testified that at the hearing that the values should be changed to 26,703 for land, 368,967 for the improvements, and 395,670 for the total. And that was the evidence they submitted there. So that their recommendation is to revalue based on evidence submitted.
Okay, so that's 1,187,000 market value. So it looks like they lean towards the appraisal at 1,130,000. All right, do you know any thoughts on this one?
Yes. Yeah, what does that come to per square foot?
I don't know yet. I gotta, oh wait, tell me the square footage in there? I was just looking up the. Yeah, let me pull up the file. One. Oh, 26.
Is that 56, 53?
I am not sure yet. I'm still getting there. I had the wrong one. I pulled up 21, back at 21 instead of 26. It is, yes, 56, 53 square footage. So 209, call it 210 a square foot.
What am I
For an
doing?
office condominium.
1130. I'm getting with, if we're going to 1,130,000, is that, where am I getting
395.
it from?
1,187,128 market value. $210 per square foot for a property on South First Street in St. Charles, downtown area there, newer section. So 210 seems reasonable per square foot. And if both parties have come to that agreement, I guess I can live with that.
Understood. And you're at 210,000
per square foot. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll make the motion to, well,
Accept.
let's see. I guess the land is staying the same at the 26,703. proven to be reduced to 368,967 for a total assessment of 395,670. That would be my motion. We need a second.
I'll second. I'll second that.
All in favor, Majaric, yes.
Constance, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. The last two dockets on the non-consent agenda for hearing complaints are 798 and 799. Those were the same hearing docket, Elgin 29. That is the property located at the southeast corner of Larkin and McLean on the west side of Elgin. This was heard on October 28, 2020. A summary of the existing valuations on page 2 of the report that I sent out. There are two parcels there. One is a vacant land parcel. The other is the improved parcel. The complainant is PNC Bank, who is the successor to the owner of the property. The title holder of record is Elgin Federal Savings and Loan Association. The fair cash value indicated by the existing assessments is $1,777,726. The complainant's contention is overvaluation and contends that the fair cash value as of January 1, 2020 should be set at $1,265,000. The complainant's case in chief was based on an appraisal report with a valuation date of January 1st, 2018. That's 2 years prior, which shows a fair cash value of $1,265,000 for all parcels. That's both of them. The complainant provided no additional testimony. The respondent had no questions or rebuttal testimony. The appraiser was not made available to testify, although the respondent did not raise that issue. The respondent's contention is that the correct fair cash value is the current, indicated by the current assessed value. And then the respondent's case in chief, they had submitted an appraisal grid showing 5 properties and comparable sales in support of the respondent's valuation. They also provided no testimony. There were no questions on cross-examination by either party. There is one pending PTAB for the 2019 payable 2020 taxable year. In that case, the certified EAV is $564,408. The EAV sought by the appellant in the 2019 PTAB is $421,625. So we have on both of these parcels a pending PTAB, and the evidence was there. There was no real discussion at the hearing. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, Dino, so my contention would be that the evidence submitted by the appellant is too dated to come to a real market conclusion for 2020, and also that the pending PTAB is out there. I would confirm based on the pending PTAB.
I concur with that, Michael. I would second that. That's what it is.
Correct, for both. So we would confirm both parcels based on the pending PTAB. That would be my motion. Second that, Dino?
And I second that motion.
Okay, Majaric, yes.
Constance, yes.
Okay. And that is all you need, Mr. Armstrong?
No, Mr. Chairman, welcome back. Dockets 800 through 822 are all non-homestead exemption recommendations. These are all recommendations for exemptions on government bodies. And I believe all of these are exempt by virtue of ownership. There is not a use component to them. The recommendation is all to approve. If the board sees fit, the board can certainly move these recommendations to the Department of Revenue on a single motion for all 23 dockets.
So moved.
I second.
All in favor, Sullivan, yes.
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
You're on item number 823, Mr. Chairman, additional business.
Okay, gentlemen, do you know of any additional business?
do not.
Okay, if I can remind all three of us to take a look at those P tabs, and if you can continue to try to settle, please do so. I do have a question in terms of some timing. I know our next full board meeting is December 21st, and I believe our last hearing date is the 9th. The 21st, I'm assuming we'll have everything on there for the rest of the year, anything that we have to reopen or anything that took place November 1st through December 9th. Is that right, Mark and Jody?
That is correct. That is the current plan, to move forward with everything, including those hearings through the 9th of December.
Okay.
The purpose of that is to have all the hearings done by December 21st. So when we get to January 11th meeting, we can actually look at approving the abstracts and closing out the year at that time. You may also have some board of review recommendations regarding non-homestead on the December 21st. Theoretically possible the January 11th agenda as well, but we want to get all those done on the 21st. If on the 11th you are able to certify the abstracts to the county clerk, then the meetings on the 8th of February, 15th of March would be canceled, because the board would be able to close its session for the 2020 year 2 months early.
Great.
Wow.
Jody, question for you. I believe Holly mentioned the other day that there is another hearing set for corrections. Has that been scheduled?
As of right now, no.
Okay. Okay. But obviously they would need to take place before the 21st, right?
Correct.
Okay. All righty. Just a FYI to Dino and Mike, we do, as Mark mentioned before, we do have a number of the Walgreens. And Mark, you want to just kind of give a lay of the land on this, in terms of where we stand with what has happened, or I guess I can. We are going to be sending out a proposal for 10 or 15 appraisers to have both a review done and then another appraiser to do actual appraisals. There are a number of interveners that are interested, and so we're trying to put it all together. So I don't know if there's any more pending P-tabs in this in the rest of the year. I presume there might be some for Aurora, but take that for what it's worth.
Mr. Chairman, the only update I would make is, instead of will be sending out, already have been sending out, and we've already gotten some responses during this meeting.
Okay. Hey, Mark, have you received anything further from either interveners or assessors?
No, all that was directed to go directly to you, so there would be one point of contact on these. So everything.
Okay. I did hear from Denise LeCure and Brittany Tice, but not from anyone else. So, okay.
Sure, everyone else.
All right,
You're right. The proposal was stellar.
I'm sorry?
I'm sure that meant everyone else thought what you had to say on the issue was stellar.
Oh, no, the way you wrote it, Mark, the way you wrote it. Okay. If there's no additional business, then I'm going to ask if there's any public comment on non-agenda items.
There is none, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We've already discussed when the next full board meeting is, December 21st. I would entertain a motion to recess until that time.
I'll second that motion.
It has to be made first.
Oh, I move that we recess until December, what is it again?
21st.
December 21.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Sullivan, yes?
Constance, yes.
Majaric, yes.
Okay. Well
Mike,
played this morning.
Mike, before you leave, I'm back on a Zoom, but I'm not able to get to the screen where we have everybody list shown. What am I doing wrong, or what did I do wrong?
It's probably minimized or hidden behind you, whatever you got open. So minimize whatever you have, what you're seeing, and it's probably hiding back there.
Minimize that.
or look at the bottom and then the icons along the bottom, it'll be a blue icon with a camera. Looks like a, I don't know, what are those?
Got it. Got it. Aren't you good?
All right, there you go.
All right. I've got everybody. I see Michelle. I see Bruce. Okay.
Going all romper room on us now, Dino?
Is Kevin still there?
Yeah, Kevin's there.
Kevin's there.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, I got you now. There you are. That handsome brute with it. Everybody's got a beard. What's going on? Michelle, where's your beard?
What about Mark?
Yeah, he's covering it up now.
Yeah, the black beard mask.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you
Mr.
all.
Chairman, we're all set.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Mark. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.